You're going to fuck me on these questions, aren't you?
This song is obviously about your relationship with your dad. Do you see a lot of yourself in him?
You're going to fuck me on these questions, aren't you? Yeah. As we all do, don't we? We all have the good bits, the bad bits of both of our parents. But yeah, of course, I see a lot of myself and my dad. Learned some really great things. And, you know, he wouldn't be ashamed of me saying learned some not so great things. But yeah, of course, I'm definitely a mixed bag of dad.
Obviously, when this happened, you were, you know, young, or not too young, but you weren't fully matured enough to kind of deal with the situation that you were going through. So there's a lyric in the song, "Am I Big to You Now?" which seems kind of very mature, and how you must have been feeling at the time as well, to go through such kind of a big deal when you wouldn't have been mentally prepared for it yourself. How did you kind of deal with that and get through that? And then how did you come to terms with it enough to be able to write about it now?
Well, that's the thing, I didn't at all deal with it. When stuff happened, I didn't even mean to. We were kind of discussing this before. Like, my younger self couldn't cognitively deal with it, so it buries it within your body somewhere. It took like 3 years to like approach it. And I had a time where I had a lot of time to myself. I moved to Leigh on Sea, and just realised I had to do a lot of work on myself, and this was one of those things. So I started therapy, and then the writing came hand in hand with the therapy. It was like my body and my brain was slowly coming to terms with things and releasing things. And so it took growing up and dealing with things properly. And I always recommend therapy to people with whatever they're dealing with. It's hard, obviously, for people to do that, to start that conversation. But I definitely wasn't mature enough to deal with it at the time. Fast forward a few years, you've learned a bit about yourself, and the whole thing of this record is healing and having awareness and learning that muscle. So it kind of came with that. But definitely took a while. You could, like, at the start, I wish I had that. I wish anyone who went through anything, as you know, like, if they had the awareness when it happened to go, okay, check in with yourself, how you doing? Can I deal with this? Instead, you don't. You just go, yeah, fuck, bury it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting, kind of the direct impact of, you know, the situation with your dad, but then the indirect impact that it had with your mum and your sisters and just your family as a whole. And it's interesting as well, the older that you get, when you are able to deal with it and you do kind of know how to process these things, that you kind of notice that roles reverse when you're growing up.
Yeah, that's what I love about that period. And this song in particular, it's like you realise in those moments that you are the same as your parents. They're the same as you. They are children that are trying to navigate the madness of living. And like us, that they don't get it right all the time, and they try their hardest to. And then it leaves you with good life lessons, but it can leave you with, you know, scars or problems. But that shift, that cognitive shift of, oh, you need me now. Most sons of their fathers, it's like you see them on a plinth, you idolise them, you look up to them, they're big to you, literally. Mm-hmm. And then when that shifts, and not that he's not anymore, like he's still my dad, I love him, and he's still a big character, but that shift of boy to man almost happened overnight. I just walked in and I was like, oh, I know what I need to do now. I didn't even mean to do it. You just kind of consciously shift into a bigger state than you're actually capable of doing at the time. And that's why it took like 3-4 years of suppressing that memory or suppressing how difficult that was, to then realise that it was down there, and it caused the trauma in a sense. And it's like,
did it feel quite unfair on you at the time?
No.
Or did you not really process it like that?
No, not at all. I didn't, because the way other people around you say that sort of thing, like, oh, it's unfair, you're too young to have to like deal with that. It's like, no, like, he needed me.
I forgive you now. Forget the way things were. Don't need a single word. I'll be big for you now.
So, just to be clear here, what we're talking about is obviously male suicide, and kind of regardless of the myriad of reasons why someone could arrive at that point, we're just talking about the significance of that. With that in mind, what do you kind of hope to achieve with this song?
I have to be unabashedly honest about this. I don't write anything for anyone else. I've always thought that I love when people take something from a tune, or something that you write, because that's the whole point. Like people can connect to what you do, but when you sit to do it, and yourself, when you make art, it's like you're just trying to express how you feel in that moment or in that reflection. So I don't know what I was trying to achieve when I was writing it. If I was trying to help other people with their connections with their family or whatnot. For me, it was just about just releasing it from myself as a form of therapy. And then, the few people I've shown it to connect it to their own relationships, when that can be with other people, let alone family members, like just partners or people. And it's that kind of shift of being there for someone in troubling times, I guess, is the overall message of this.
While I patch up the pieces, I hear it in the night. It's the sound of alone in the dark. The way it eats at you, nothing complete in you. It ain't so big to me now. I'll be big for you now.
Did you feel like this song was important to write for your sake, for your dad's sake, for your family's sake? Why was this so important to you?
Multiple reasons, I guess. I think on a selfish level, it was important for me to release it, and the best way I knew to do that was through writing it down. It's cathartic, and it was the easiest way to get it out of my head. And obviously, on record, everything I speak about is completely cool with my dad, because he recognises that he grew from that bad place, He's cool with me talking about it. But I think the underlying thing is why I feel so confident talking about it is like, men don't talk, and like he and a million other people his age like bottle it, and then shit happens like that, and I'm very lucky it didn't go south. But he's one of millions, and the UK is like one of like the biggest killers for men over 45 is suicide, because we are naturally in Britain, we have that state of bottling everything, especially in men. So it's really important for me to get this message out and hope that others of his gender and age specifically talk, because it's definitely getting better in our generation, isn't it?
100%.
But I can't speak for people who are like 40, 50 plus. The stats from what you read don't look great still. So yeah, it's just important that this message is still spread. Men need to talk at whatever age that is.
This obviously comes from like a really dark, hard-hitting place, but the song itself can feel quite upbeat in elements.
Yeah, I think I knew as I was writing it, I was just writing the lines first, really, of like, always find that easier, just kind of jotting out notes first and feelings and thoughts. and then I'll come into like a melody or whatever. But this one was, when I had it all out, I was like, whoa, this is very dark. I was like, I just want it, from a songwriting standpoint, really, like I would do for other stuff, I was like, how do I best represent this? I don't want it to sound so morbid. And for me, I had that piano lick, and it just fit. It felt melancholic and reserved rather than overly emotional. And this song is, it's a realization, and it's settling in and acceptance. That's the word I'm looking for. It's accepting the situation, and there is a message of hope, and I think there's a beauty in it, and it's not just dark, wanker. I think I wanted the music to represent that element of hope and upbeatness, and yeah, being there for someone, and the positivity, like that positive spin on it, you know, and that's what I wanted music to represent, rather than it just being super dark.
On the couch, too big for a room the size